Missouri Congressman Jason Smith, chairman of the Committee on Ways and Means, joins us here. Good to see you, Chairman, as always, and thank you for coming on. I wanted to get your thoughts about this Washington Post report. It's text messaging appearing to be between Epstein and Congresswoman Plaskett during the hearing in 2019 in February in real time, what appears to be influencing the questioning by the Representative Plaskett. Your thoughts, and is this concerning?
Well, just the fact that Epstein's been dead for years and this is the topic of conversation, it's not something that I hear from people when I travel back home in Missouri. They care about the affordability crisis. But, release all the information. Let the public see everything about who's connected and who's not connected with Epstein, and let's move on and solve the real problems at hand. That's my focus.
No, I understand that. I think it's when you have a congressional leader that somehow is influenced by someone having access to them, and you're a chairman on a committee. That's why I ask you. That may mean something to you if one of your committee members is on their phone receiving text messages allegedly from the Washington Post. You don't want that, whether it's Epstein or Smith or any name. That is unacceptable, is it not?
I want every member of Congress to be held to the highest standard whenever they're acting on behalf of their constituents. This was not in my committee. She does serve on my committee, but it was not during my committee.
All right. We'll move on from that story. I wanted to get to some welcome news for holiday travelers. The Federal Aviation Administration now lifting all restrictions on commercial flights, thank goodness, that were imposed at 40 major airports during the country's longest government shutdown, which you're well aware of. The air traffic controller staffing issue said to be working itself out as well. But Senator Elizabeth Warren saying more people are buying first and business class airlines tickets than ever before. Watch.
New corporate earnings data show that more and more people are buying first class and business tickets. Whoa, that must mean that people are getting richer, right? High-income people are buying those premium tickets like crazy, taking more vacations or traveling more for business, while a lot of other people can't afford to fly at all.
And you called Warren out, posting a pic of her traveling on a private plane, saying, "This you?" Can you elaborate on that in her video?
It's so rich that Senator Warren has the gumption to say that and talk about how people's getting more rich when she's flying on her private jets, when she is one of the more wealthy members of Congress. It's amazing how she goes on this class warfare when she, in fact, and her party represents the richest of all Americans.
Yeah, excellent point, and we've seen that time and time again. I wanted to ask about, speaking of prices and being able to afford certain things, maybe not first in business class like Senator Warren was talking about, private jets specifically, but consumer prices and affordability. The president spoke about this over the weekend. Let me play this for you, and then I'll get your thoughts.
In terms of affordability, it's not a good word for the Democrats. It's a good word for us because our prices are much lower and will soon be much, much lower than they were under the Democrats.
And he's talking about this buzzword of affordability. It is more than a buzzword, and I realize that for many Americans out there, it's tough. They're seeing higher prices, but the president not only spoke there, he talked about inflation coming down, comparing it to the Biden administration. But can you talk to that issue? Affordability, it is a real issue for many Americans. How do you see that being handled by this administration in real time, Chairman?
Affordability is a very big issue to most Americans. In my congressional district, it's one of the poorest congressional districts in the nation. Average income's just over $40,000 a year. The price of food and clothes has been a struggle for people to maintain. And we have to look at every approach. One thing that we've already done, and that's delivering on the working families tax cuts. We are preventing a $1,700 tax increase, which would have happened to every single American next year. And we not only did that, we prevented a tax increase, we cut additional taxes, which is a great thing. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. The president has focused on lowering the price of eggs. Eggs are now much lower than they were when President Biden was in office. But the real issue is inflation went up 21.4% when Joe Biden was president in 4 years. Inflation right now is at 2.5%, the lowest it's been in 4 years. We're moving in that right direction, but we have a lot more work that needs to be done.
All right. Well said. That is the chairman, Jason Smith, joining us. We do appreciate that, sir. Always good to see you. Appreciate it.